I apologize in advance for the kind of clickbaity title, but in this video I'm going to be answering the question that most of my Twitter replies and comments are: is Black Clover actually good? And is it worth playing over Grand Cross? Now, you don't need to quit a game to start playing another, depending on how much time you have in your hand and how much time you're willing to invest in each game. But in this video, I'm going to air out the good, the bad, and the ugly of Black Clover Mobile, and you can make your decision depending on what you think. Any of the bads and the uglies can be easily fixed. They have already fixed some of the uglies I had on my list in the past week. So I'm just hoping that this video gives constructive criticism to the global version pre-launch, and maybe some of the issues I'm talking about today won't even be a thing at global launch, which is my hope. So the good are honestly things I think should be a reason for you to start playing the game. The bad is like, it's annoying, but you can live with it. And the uglies are genuine reasons why I can see people unironically just quit the game or not even try because they're so bad. So let's start with the good, of course. Keeping in mind, my goods, bads, and whatever are kind of subjective, right? But I've talked about this with some people, and majority of people agree with my whole list. So I think the way that they do character designs in this game is so good. Each and every character has a role. As you can see here, Miami is an attacker, Mars is a defender, Loaded is a debuffer, William is a supporter, As is an attacker again, and each character having a defined role in the game means they're much more meaningful and much less random than in a game like Grand Cross, where some characters don't even know what the hell they're supposed to be doing in the game. Each character has a reason. Each and every SSR, even if some are better than others, have a reason to exist, even a lot of the SRs. This role system in the game is so good, so well thought out. You guys know, obviously there's gonna be character systems like also in Epic 7 and I think Honkai, where some characters have a different title, but in this game is like very, very thought out and very, very strict what they're meant to do, and I like that. Also very subjective, but I find that the gameplay is very good. Very fun. The system of S1, S2, and S3 is well done. The way, so every single beginning of match you have your S3 ready, or your combo ultimate with the character that's to the side of the character. So like this, if I click on this one instead, I'll do a combo attack with Yami, but I'm doing the S3 right now. And you can mix and match characters that have specific combo attacks and have a really good thing going, and it's so varied. There are moments in the gameplay where you can time your S3 to recharge because your S2 gives an X amount of points versus the S1. It's just the gameplay, it's subjectively very good, in my opinion. There are some quirks to it that I think, have downsides. For example, debuff cards are not guaranteed to debuff, but that's very standard. It's something that I've grown accustomed to with Grand Cross, for example, where debuff cards are guaranteed. If a card says the debuff is going to occur, the debuff is going to occur, right? Well, in this game, like this card has a stun chance. It's not a stun guarantee, but if there was a stun guarantee, it would be way too unbalanced. So here, do I stun? I don't stun. It's a stun chance. So that is a little annoying. But you can work around it. Most games work like this and not, how Grand Cross does with the guarantees level 2s and 3s. Gameplay, subjectively, is very good. Character building is very good. After learning how the gear system works, we'll talk about gears in a little bit more, but after learning how the gear system works, and talents, and, I clicked the dupes actually, and talents and everything, the whole process of making your character the way you want it to be is much more diverse and much more of an expansion compared to other games, and I like the way they approached gear when it comes to what you can do with it. They could have gone with the Epic 7 route, if you play Epic 7 or Honkai, where speed, which is a gameplay system, is a big determining factor on what you want your character to be geared with. There's no gear that has speed main or substat, which is so good. And if you play 7 or Honkai, you know that. you know that. And the way you see right here, the weird Resident Evil 4 sort of like gear you place in and you mount correct. It's pretty cool once you get used to it and you learn how to build. Character building in this game is very fun, very creative. I like it a lot. The game offers loads of free crystals. PvP was what people were like, oh my god, PvP doesn't give as much as Grand Cross. So the rewards for PvP weekly, right now at my tier, for example, what tier am I? True. It's like 1,000, which is a little bit less than a multi. But, you know, this is me without buying any PvP stem and everything like that. There are so many ways of getting crystals. And the main way is actually the story stamina system. So the story stamina system recharges one ticket of this every 3 hours, and every 3 hours you can go in this dungeon and get 24 crystals. A week, that's over 100. That's over 1,300 crystals, which is a little bit over a multi. There's a bunch of ways of getting crystals, and it's, I think, on par with Grand Cross, which is the best game to get free crystals in the market. The weekly and monthly and daily missions give you a ton of tickets, which are direct, summoning tickets, and also give you a dupe, which I'll talk about in a second. Give you a ton of crystals. In general, summoning in this game is very generous. So about the SSR dupe stone. In this game, when you have an SSR, you don't have to actually only pull dupes for that character. You have a material, which you can get for free in many ways, that actually gives the character a dupe. Very, very good. It's such a good system. Can't believe Grand Cross doesn't have this. And right now, I think we got 5 this month. So you can get 2 from the new raid, which any player that is actually playing the game can acquire. You get 1 from the monthly mission, and in the monthly mission, it actually states at the bottom here that the rewards will reset every month. So this one's guaranteed to be every single month. Just one character dupe every month is already super good, but we are definitely going to be getting in other ways. And there was also like a mission right here, which I can't see anymore because I've already done it, that gives you 2 more and also lets you pick like an SSR. Just having a system that has an actual SSR dupe, such a big W. I can't believe a lot of other games don't have this. And there's a bunch of other really neat stuff in this game, but I'm gonna end with quality of life updates are very frequent right now. We've got a quality of life update every week so far, and they all have been pretty good. The time dungeon that I just mentioned used to be 6 or 4 hours, and they cut the time to just give you more crystals. They lowered difficulty on stages that seemed honestly impossible. And in general, they seem to actually be taking feedback from the beta itself. They've changed the game so much in so many good ways. I can see, again, in like a month or 2, the game being completely different with so many good new aspects to it. So I think that alone gives me like hope that this game not only is good now, but will keep getting better. So I think that's a reason enough to, play the game. All right. Time for the bad. Not everything is sunshine and rainbows, of course. Remember I talked about PvP on the good section. And honestly, the crystal rewards from PvP are okay. I mentioned, it's way worse than Grand Cross, of course. And because it resets you to like the bottom rank, I'm the upper league. There's the lower league and the upper league. To get in the upper league, you need to get to this amount of points. It's honestly not that hard. If you just play the game, you'll get there. So don't even bother with like counting these rewards. This would be like first or second week rewards for you. At the upper league, you get reset back to this tier. So you have to play. You have to play all the time. And for the amount of playtime that you need, the amount of crystals that you get is okay. Honestly, okay. The best part about it is the skill rewards, which I'll talk about in a second again. But honestly, so you play a lot, and what do you have to show for it? A terrible coin shop. PvP coin shop. All I get from this is gold. That's it. And like these, which is not even that much. This needs work. PvP needs a reason for people to play, because if you're going to be resetting me for the crystals, and that's what you expect me to play the game for, honestly, a lot of people are not going to be bothered and just be at the bottom rank with the lowest crystals. PvP shop needs work, and that goes with a lot of other shops I'll talk about in a second. Now that I talked about gold, my god, doesn't have a stage. Gold doesn't have a stage. You know how in Grand Cross there's a gold stage for when you need gold? You need gold in Black Clover Mobile? You sit and you wait for the reset so you can buy gold from the PvP rewards. That's it. And then there's like this weird stage that pops in a few hours that gets a little bit of gold. Gold can be very annoying. Very annoying. So I mentioned the rewards for PvP, including skill upgrades. Skills are so fucked to upgrade. It's heavily time gated. They need this material right here, which you gather from almost nowhere. It's just PvP reward and raid shop, and it's not even that much. Like per week, you're upgrading like half a skill or something, and every character has 4 skills to upgrade. So you're telling me you want me to upgrade all my characters with that, but you barely give me any of these. Either they need to give us more, because you can see, like, you know, you need to really pick and choose what skills you're going to upgrade. Either they're going to give us more or something. Just give us more. If they don't give us more, my god, is this annoying. Getting a character built is already a time consumption because you need to get their affinity up so you can get the dupes to get them up. And then you also need the materials, just skill level them is just not a great system, honestly. Speaking of friendship, friendship is only really leveled by farming it on the friendship stage because these items right here are so rare. The item that gets you friendship for free is incredibly rare. So to get friendship up, you need to go on the friendship stage and dump all of your stamina. Right now, thankfully, we got skip tickets. This was gonna be a this was gonna go in the ugly before skip tickets because it was it took like days to get a character's friendship up. But now with skip tickets, there's like a way. You go in here, and then you put whatever characters you want to skip friendship increase, and then you skip ticket with them. But still a ton of stamina that should be used elsewhere. And you know why, I'm telling you. Wasting all this stamina getting friendship up is such a such a nuisance. Yeah, more of that item is definitely needed. Ending on the bad section with the coin shop. So, in this game, just like Grand Cross, once you get dupes of characters, you get a coin so that even if you have a character already max duped, you don't just have a nothing burger, and you actually can use that dupe for something. And let me tell you, the coin shop kind of sucks. It really does. For 8 gold coins, which mind you, SSR rates are not the best. Like, you get a ticket with the OG characters, and you can't even pick which one you want. It's a random chance. I don't want Charlotte. My god, I'm not gonna waste 8 SSR coins on this. 5 SSR coins lets you get 1 copy of the character chosen by the game for a little bit. SR coins are just useless. Really, they're just useless. I'm not gonna buy a dupe of an SR with 6 SR coins. That's just dumb. You should make SR coins. Let me buy an SSR character. Even if it's 50 SR coins. Let me buy an SSR character. Because this is just atrocious. Same goes for the bottom part here. Like, this is the only reason why you'd want to use SR coins at all. You can buy 4 of these SSR dupes. You know what these are. This SSR, like SSR pendants kind of thing. But it's only once a month. And then you have to wait for the monthly reset. R coins actually have a reason to exist. Buying stamina every day is pretty cool. And buying these is also pretty useful. But that's it. The coin shop could use a lot of work. Just like with the PvP shop I mentioned. The shops in general could use quite a bit of work. The raid shop is amazing. It has SSR dupes. So more like this. Let me buy this. Let me buy this with PvP coins. Or like dupe coins. Like the actual material to upgrade skills would be so phenomenal. Time for the ugly. Very sad times. I'll start with the worst. Stage drops are the worst I've ever seen in a game ever. I'm talking like any gacha game I've ever played. So To farm gear, you need to go to the gear stage, and I can beat the highest difficulty. And right now, the only gear that's worth for me to upgrade is LR gear, which is the highest rarity. So in like a month or two, the standard will be that every single character only has LR gear. It's just how the games work, right? So I want you to guess what the percentage rates are for getting LR gear on the hardest stage of gear. Can you guess? Because it doesn't show. About like 0.5%. So I yesterday did like 500 runs of this stage, something like that. And I got like 8 pieces because I got like really lucky and I got 3 in a row. 500 runs. Do you know how much stamina that is? It's 14 stamina per run. It's an absurd amount of stamina and time. I just left my iPad running all day farming this stage. And that is for every stage in the game. I'm talking every material in the game has awful drop rates. It's just horrible. It's terrible. And especially knowing like you need all of this, of course, to get your characters up, but especially the gear. The gear is the worst because without UR and LR gear, so UR gear is also terrible drops. Like you do 100 runs of the hardest stage possible and you get like mostly just SSR gear, which is useless because the upgrade materials to upgrade an SSR gear are just simply not worth it. SSR gear and max upgrade has lower stats than an UR gear at 0 upgrade. And a UR gear at max upgrade has worse stats than an LR gear at 0 upgrade. It's not worth upgrading UR gear for me, neither SSR. It's just the drops are pointless. It's hours and hours and hours of farming for pointlessness. So the drops need to go up. Or I'm telling you, people are just going to get very frustrated. People are already frustrated. And the game is new, right? This needs changed. And this is for every stage in the game. Every stage has bad drops. I'm almost at the hardest difficulty of the XP stage. And this one is one that you can skip tick, actually. Let me show you what I get. So this is the second hardest difficulty of the XP stage. Keep in mind, you need like 1 billion of these to get a character to max level. I'm not even exaggerating. I think it's legitimately like 6,000 or 7,000 of these. Like it's so much. I'm going to do 140 stamina, 10 skip tickets, and I want to tell you, majority of the drops, so I got an LR one, it's pretty cool, 7. I'm getting the lowest reward possible at the second highest difficulty. Oh, I got a UR, cool, or 2 URs, very cool. Oh, 1 UR, wow. That's so epic. I just used 10 skip tickets and 140 stamina, which is a lot. 140 stamina is almost my maximum. My maximum is 163. And that was like 1/10 of a level, what I just got. I need like 6,000 more of those. And I got like 7 per drop. Stage drops are just the worst. So stage drops are really bad. But let's say I did my 7,000 runs and I got my 1 LR gear, right? Upgrading the gear is somehow arguably worse. So let's do 1 upgrade. Wow, +1. Very cool. You see, already at the next upgrade, my chance of upgrading the gear has gone from 100% to 83%. And it keeps going down the further up I go, 71%. It keeps going down. I haven't failed yet, which is nice, but let me tell you, that was a fail. Failing gear upgrades is annoying. Failing gear upgrades when the material to upgrade the gear is insanely rare, and I mean absurdly rare, is very frustrating. Very frustrating. Getting this material, even at SSR form, is just horrible. I'll show you how to get the material in a second. It's... look at all these fails. Wait, let's see. Now it's 28% chance. At +8, this goes to +12. Now, there is an enhanced form of the material, which you have a chance of getting when you craft it, that goes up by 3%. It's not even that much. Or you can pay for it, which is what I did, personally. I bought it, right? Judge me. This is the enhanced form. I don't even know if I'm going to get to the last tier. I hope I do, so I can show you the rate of getting a rank, a plus here at the highest tier. Oh my god. It's 18%. It's 21 because I have +3 from the paid one, or the enhanced one. You can actually get this one for free. 18% at the highest tier is an absurdly low number. Absurdly. Yesterday, I ran through 100 of these without a single one completing it. 100. It was, it was on auto, and it just kept failing, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? It just kept failing. Like, incredibly frustrating. It's frustrating to a different degree, because, wow, that was very lucky. It's because I'm recording. The material is so rare. So to get this material to begin with, you need to go in here. I mean, you can buy in the various shops, but the primary way is by breaking gear. So let me break the bunch of SSR gear I got. So this is the SR one. Let me do a full SSR one. I have a bunch of UR shit as well. Let me break just SSR gear. So 10 SSR pieces, right? Gives me from 0 to 70 of the blue powder. So I got 55 blue powder. Let me see how many I can make with 55 blue powder. So you go on this one. Yeah, no. The third one. You go on this one. So the highest material requires 90 blue powder for one. And the second highest requires 60 blue powder for one. Remember that I said I used 100 and I failed all of them? I didn't use 100 to make one upgrade. I failed all 100 and I had to buy more. 100. It's 9,000 powder. 10 gears was about 50. Yeah. Yeah. Gear either needs to have an abundance of that material, much more attainable to the players, or the fail rates need to be 0 or much lower than they are, because it's just super frustrating. Alright, so the next one has to do with summoning. So each banner has a main featured character and the unfeatured. And the main featured character has a 1% rate. Pretty good, actually. Very good. But alongside the main featured character, they have an artifact, or a skill page, as it's called in this game. And the skill page pairs up tremendously with the new character. They go hand in hand. So this Licht banner, right? I did 2 rotations. There's pity on the banner, so every 20 multis you get a guaranteed one. And I have, let me show you, a Licht with max dupes. He's maxed out. Do you want to guess how many artifacts I have for him? 0. And my Licht is inherently weaker because I don't have his artifact. Even though he's max duped, he's inherently weaker because he doesn't have the skill included by his artifact. And guess what? There's no way for me to acquire it. Nothing. I just have to keep pulling. There's no pity. And just simply 0 ways of getting the artifact other than just randomly getting it. Other games have a similar system. So I play a game called Epic 7. And in that game, they have a very similar way of dealing with this. And when it comes to the pulling, the character comes out, they come out with a new artifact, and what happens is the character has a pity, but the artifact doesn't have a pity. So there is a resource that you get by breaking artifacts. So I think it's on this guy right here. If you go to this guy in the Borhat, the hideout, you can break artifacts. So let's break these SR artifacts, right? Let's break all these SR artifacts I get by summoning, and you get this currency. And with this currency, you can go to the shop. Let's go to the shop. At the bottom here. Yep. And you can exchange the currency for this. A bunch of nothing. Once a month, you can get this SSR selector, which you can pick an SSR skill page from the OGs. Not any of the new... So, Licht's one is not even here, I'm pretty sure. Only the OG SSRs. And this one is useless because you only get SRs. This one's useless because you only get Rs. And this one is practically useless because you have a very low chance. What is it? Very, very, very low chance of getting SSRs. So, in Epic 7, when a new skill page, artifact comes out, whatever, the material or the currency, you can just straight up buy it. Because that's the pity. That's the pity. You have a bunch of this powder. It's a powder on the other game. And with the powder, you can go in the shop and buy it straight up because they know the artifact is needed. And there's no pity for it. So I think that this should be implemented in the game, straight up, exactly how it is in Epic 7. Because if it's not, I'm telling you, it's so frustrating. It's unspeakably frustrating pulling for this artifact, which has a 0.6% chance, and will I ever get it? I don't know. My character is genuinely just weaker, 0.68, because it doesn't have it. And there's nothing you can do about it. So and it's every banner. So, artifact system, it's such a simple solution, but the problem is so big, I had to include it here. To end the video with the last ugly point is very general, actually. It's very general. But the end game seems to be a little bleak. There's semblance of an end game, but you know, the end game is just PvP really. And there's no real-time PvP. So my matches are just easy wins. I have a basically 90% win ratio. And most of these losses are from when, like the first week when I didn't even know how to play the game. Like, so if they reset the win rate every week, this week I would have 100%. And sure, I'm away or whatever. Doesn't matter. For majority of people, it's going to be the same thing because you're facing AI and it can only do so good. So either they add a real-time PvP, which, I don't know, can they? I hope so. Or there's not much. Like, the raid is cool. The seasonal stuff is honestly a really good way for them to do this. This raid is cool. It's not the hardest thing ever. Like, as soon as we have our characters built, it's going to be very easy, so maybe they up the difficulty eventually. This game mode is cool, but it's just kind of like an auto thing. Either you overpower the stages or you just can't beat them at all. And this mode was like you do like once and then you're done. So I hope they do more for the end game, but for now it's fine because we are in the first month of the game. So fair enough. We don't know exactly what's going to be, but I hope they do better because the guild content that came out this week, so there's the new the Guild Wars or whatever. It's just like the Guild Wars is you play the game, like your whole guild plays the game, and then you get score over the enemies. As you can see, Seaton is just beating me. Of course it's not. 65,000, how? I have only 50,000 points. But these are points you get for playing the game. And you kind of play more than the other guild and you win. It's a weird game mode. So it's whatever, it's just you play the game. A little more of an end game emphasis would be cool, but that's something that they definitely can work with. It's definitely not something I'm like, oh my god, this is never gonna happen. They can definitely work on that. So, but those are my points. I hope that, you know, this serves as constructive criticism, and the points I say from the bad and the ugly are worked on. But genuinely, the game is really good. If the points I made are fixed, worked on in some way, game is a 10 out of 10. Right now, if Grand Cross is to me a 9 out of 10, I think Black Clover is an 8.5. Because Grand Cross was worked on for years and years and years until they abandoned it. Grand Cross has been abandoned, right? And Black Clover has been worked on. I mean, it's been worked on for years, obviously. They developed the game, but I mean post-launch. Post-launch, Grand Cross was worked on for years. Black Clover just came out. There's only so much they could have done by now, and there's so much more they will do. So, I think the game is worth playing, but that's my opinion.